my friends. I am B and this is B's Intuition. Today we're going to do a reading. I was thinking, like, what are other people noticing about you? I'm going to try and make it a quickie. We will see. We will see. Okay, what are other people noticing about you? Please and thank you, Spirit. What are other people noticing about the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. What are people noticing about the collective? What are people taking notice of when it comes to the collective and what they got going on? Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you flip over? No, I guess not. Thought that one flipped. Nope. Please and thank you, Spirit. What are people noticing about the collective right now? Okay, I'll take this down. All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll just show you what came out. So we have the Sun card, the Star card, Two of Swords, which is interesting, but we'll definitely go further into that when we clarify. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups. This is already really promising for a reading. This is very beautiful energy. What the heck, mate? Also, Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, shifted off to show the Emperor. This is before I clarify, just to kind of, that might be a theme in this reading for some reason. Okay, so please clarify that Sun card, please, and thank you, Spirit. What is this that people are noticing about the collective with the Sun card? Okay, thank you. Okay, what was that other one? Anything else for that Sun card, please, and thank you, Spirit. Okay, clarifying that Sun card, we have the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you've been really slow and steady with your efforts, your investments, and that is paying off. You also have like long-term plans that you have been planning for, I feel. Pretty much I feel like you've been doing the right sort of actions or non-actions, and it's setting you up onto this path to come into the time of the Sun, which is very much great happiness. Also, there's other parts to the Sun card that can be good, like good health, higher energy, those types of things could be taking place. And it feels like it's due to you thinking things out, planning ahead, like acting very consistently and slowly, not trying to rush this process. And then we have the World card. Well, I feel like that following the Knight of Pentacles could be indicating that things are going to start to pick up for you, start to go a lot faster than they have been. Anyways, what should I know? What was I saying? Oh, so the Knight of Pentacles being followed by the World card, definitely that could be speaking of, like, maybe that chapter is closing and you're entering a new chapter in which things start to speed up, or maybe you start to speed up, which would make sense with the Sun card, actually, because like I said, the Sun card can also represent like a lot of energy or gaining more energy, you know, just feeling really good and like energetic and stuff. So that definitely could be something. Maybe you've been going through a period of time where you felt like things haven't been moving and then all of a sudden they start to. Was there anything else about that World card? I think it's really just like a thumbs up from Spirit telling you that you're on the right path and things are going to be working out for you. Then we have the Queen of Cups. So, well, actually, let me show you what else came out. So that was the Queen of Cups, and then we had the Chariot come out as well for that Sun card. Oh, and the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. So it's almost like you're maybe closing a chapter on that Knight of Pentacles energy where maybe you're very slow moving or things in general just have been slow moving. And then you move into this next chapter with that Queen of Cups. For some reason, that Queen of Cups is not hitting me as your energy necessarily. I feel like it could be very reminiscent of your energy because you're probably somebody that has like a very kind heart, somebody that's like invested in things for the right reason or reasons. There's like a lot of emotional confidence with the Queen of Cups. I would say maybe even like emotional intelligence. For some reason, I feel like this is somebody else in your life or somebody that wants to come into your life, because that then is followed by the Chariot card. And this, although it is the Queen of Cups, this could be applied to any gender. I think that this is just somebody that's very tapped into their emotions at this time and not afraid of expressing those emotions. And so it could be specifically towards you that they would like to share these feelings, emotions with, because it's almost like this is something that they've kind of, it almost feels like it's kind of been building inside of them for some time. And now they feel maybe confident enough, or they feel better in some way to be able to express themselves to you and their feelings. The Chariot is also like a beautiful card about you being on the right track. You're going down this path towards your destiny. You're being guided by spirit. And this person that wants to express their feelings towards you. Because it's like I'm getting like almost like two storylines, and it feels like they're kind of side by side. So either both of these things are happening to you simultaneously, or maybe one or the other depending on your situation. But it feels like while you're going towards your destiny, your path, you're going down your path, you're rocking things, you're on the right track, you are listening to your intuition, which is very good. So like that's one storyline, but then there's another storyline that's like taking place right beside that one. And that's about somebody that has deep feelings for you and wishes to express those and wants to come forward in order to express those things to you. I'm getting like water sign energy for some reason, and because of the World card, I feel like it could be Scorpio, but then with the Chariot card, it could be Cancer. Water signs could be significant, and also we have the Queen of Cups, which is water sign energy, so maybe any water sign could be somebody that's playing an important part in this. Also, the World card represents all the fixed signs, so not just Scorpio, but Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus as well. Wow. And I really do feel like you're shifting, at the very least, into a new chapter that is filled with a lot of happiness. Oh, hello. A little damselfly just flew and landed onto my bag here. It's so pretty. It's like a little fairy. There you go. I'll definitely look that up later and put that in the edit of like what the spiritual significance could be. But honestly, that feels good. It feels like somebody wants to express themselves towards you. And also, I guess that could be like maybe part of that more career centered or passion, like whatever your passion is, or your drive, your destiny, your fate, your purpose. That's the word I'm trying to find. Your purpose. You know, it could be more maybe career related or passion related, but that could, that Queen of Cups could potentially be somebody that's in a position of power that would like to offer you some sort of position that is on your path to your purpose and your destiny here. So yeah, I do get like kind of, this could be two storylines taking place side by side, happening at the same time, or these could be maybe separate storylines for specific people that are watching this. But I feel like either way, you're being very admired by this Queen of Cups at the moment. It's probably because this person sees themselves in you, to some extent. So maybe you're both very emotional people, or very emotionally grounded, emotionally centered, emotionally mature kind of people that are very tapped into their emotions and try to show up in a loving way. So I feel like either way, that's really a positive message there for sure. Um, and so, because if we go back to the theme of this reading, like what are people noticing about you right now? It feels like people are noticing that you're moving up in life, you're becoming happier, you're finding more drive, inspiration, motivation to move towards your purpose. And somebody in a position of power is noticing either your work ethic and the way that you work. They're very impressed by that and would like to communicate something to you, or express that to you in some way. And then on the other, the other hand is like, I think that somebody romantically is noticing you. And they're probably noticing those same things that people that want to collaborate or work with you are noticing. Because I feel like it's something about your integrity as a person, not even specifically within your career, not even specifically within love, but it almost feels like you're a very well-rounded individual. Like you're very much like, what was the word I had? Oh, I lost it. I'll edit it in if I can remember what my point was or whatever. But I want to kind of explore the bottom of the deck now. With the Seven of Pentacles, there's this energy of being focused on your work or something within your 3D that may be taking time to develop or to get to that point of harvesting. But I feel like you've been practicing patience and you've been sticking with it and you're not giving up on this, which is good. That's all good, and I think that's all serving you. I feel like this is your energy. At first I was going to say maybe this is the person that wants to come towards you energy, but I feel like this is more your energy because you're more focused on like your art, your work, your whatever you have that you kind of invest into. Let's see what's underneath that Seven of Pentacles. The Fool card. So I feel like while you're focusing on some sort of investment or career, oh yes, the Fool card. So it's almost like while you're investing and paying attention to a certain area of your life or your 3D, there's a new beginning on the horizon for you. And it's going to be really exciting. But yeah, let's see what's underneath that Fool card. I'm curious. The Hierophant. Okay. So you could be stepping into a position of becoming a leader. Somebody that maybe is very wise, seen as such, has information to share with others, that people would like to know that information. Could definitely be spiritual related, but it also doesn't have to be. You're very intelligent, you're very wise, you're very experienced in a certain area, and that could be a new chapter you're stepping into, is people listening to you, wanting to hear from you, wanting to get direction from you or directions from you. You also may be really good at counseling people or even mediating. Like I feel like you're like really good with maybe conflict between other people. Like maybe you know how to solve or settle a dispute. That could be like a specific sort of talent, energy you have. But yeah, this is a new spiritual beginning. And by spiritual, I mean that this is going to feel spiritually significant, because it definitely feels like spirit is very strong with the Fool card and the Hierophant there. So I do think that things are going to start to develop for you in a significant way. Also, the Hierophant, more than being a teacher, could also be indicating like that traditional long-term commitment. So again, like I'm kind of getting both storylines here, where it's like this could be career related, but this could also be romance related. And you could be starting a new connection with someone that's like meant to be in your life long term. if that's what you desire in a connection, something that's more traditionally long-term and devoted. Very good energy though. I like that. Okay, let's go on to the star card. Clarify that, please, and thank you, Spirit. What is the star card all about when it comes to what are people noticing about the collective at this time? Please, thank you, Spirit. And at this time is just whenever you see this. It's not a specific. Okay, I'll take the top one. I'll put those back. Doesn't have to be. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. These cards that are coming out is really funny. Okay, I think that's enough. I think that's enough there. Let me just dab my brow. Wow. Okay. Why do I feel like this whole stack wasn't meant to come out like that? No, we'll read it because it did come out. Yeah, so anyways, clarifying. Did I start to say something while I was shuffling? Okay, well, whatever. It probably wasn't that important. Anyways, clarifying the star card. We have the Hierophant. We just saw that at the bottom of the deck. The Fool card, we just saw that at the bottom of the deck. And then also the High Priestess. And some people argue that this is the most powerfully spiritual, the most powerful spiritual counterpart couple in the deck in tarot. The Hierophant and the High Priestess. But it also could be like a combination of people with different belief systems as well. I feel like, you know, maybe somebody here is more traditionally religious, whereas somebody is maybe based more in the New Age spirituality. But either way, you're going to have a new beginning, and this is probably a very spiritual connection. I feel like you're both drawn to each other. It's definitely not one-sided. And since this is clarifying the star card, I think that this is something that is divinely meant to happen. And Spirit could be playing a very significant role in this connection, where Spirit's kind of leading you towards one another. It feels like written in the stars definitely could be a little bit of a message there, but I'm also getting that it almost feels like a coincidence potentially, or like this is like a once in a lifetime connection, but it's like I feel like it also has to do with like the circumstances in which you meet, or just like what are the odds. I don't know why that's coming through so strongly, but it almost feels like a 1 in a million situation is how you guys meet for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's a cute little story how you guys meet, or maybe it has something to do with your spiritual beliefs in some way that brings you together. Either way, Spirit is playing a really strong role in this. And this feels like, again, it's like very much divinely meant for you. And then the other cards that came out, let me just... Okay. The other cards that came out, they kind of came out in cluster, so I wasn't super sure if that was like what was supposed to happen. But I'm gonna take them and read them anyways. But I feel like those first few cards that I just showed you that clarify the star card, those are probably way more important. Like that felt like these were like really meant to come out. Do you know what I mean? And whereas this, whatever the message is behind these cards, it might be like, you know, still relevant, but like not as like emphasized. And it also has something to do with the fact that we're clarifying on major arcana, and 3 major arcanas came out to clarify that. So maybe that's also speaking about the importance of that part of this reading. So we have the Judgment card, the Hanged Man, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, and then bottom of the deck we have the 4 of Pentacles. the reading I did yesterday, the last reading that I uploaded, there was like a message about somebody kind of coming back into the picture when they see that you're moving on. And I'm feeling that this could be the situation with these cards here. And that's probably why Spirit wanted me to emphasize this part in particular rather than what is coming out here. And that's probably because this probably has to do with somebody in your past. And you're probably on to new. And this feels like a way more significant connection than what happened here. Because the Judgment card, it can sometimes indicate that like somebody still feels like there needs to be some sense of closure, maybe. Like it's almost, the thing is, I don't really like that energy because it almost feels like this could be somebody that you have expressly ended things with. Like you were very clear cut, you know, you weren't vague about it, or like, you know, giving this person false hope that it could be I don't know, put together again. But it almost feels like they still want to be like, but like, are we really over though? Like, and I don't like that energy because it's almost like, it almost feels like maybe they're just they're not listening to what you have to say, how you feel. Rather, they may have sort of more selfish intentions, I guess. And not to say that this person like is a bad person or anything. It just may be that you have different goals or ideas or desires of commitment right now. Sorry if you can hear children screaming in the background. I'm pretty sure that there's a playground across the river from me. So that's probably why children are screaming. Because I always hear them screaming over there. They're crazy. But Judgment card, and then that was followed by the Hanged Man. So it almost even feels like when after you ended something with someone here and you said, I need to move on into a different chapter of my life, this person sat in that silence and is seeing things from a different perspective, maybe seeing the larger picture. And I feel like this is somebody that probably now sees where they went wrong in the connection between the two of you. And so it's almost like because they have had this shift in perspective, I almost feel this feeling of like they almost assume that because they reflected, because now they see that they played a part in the disconnection of that connection, now that it's almost like they feel like they deserve your attention, or they feel like, yeah, something along those lines, where it's like, well, now you should let me back into your life because I did a reflection. I can admit that I was wrong. Let's get back together now. It's like, you know, it's not as clear cut as that always, you know? And then the Nine of Pentacles. This person is seeing you gain a lot of abundance, a lot of stability. You're very independent as well. So I'm almost getting that maybe this could be, maybe it's something about like this new connection you're entering into is going to feel much more freeing than past relationships that you have had, because it almost feels like you still maintain your independence and you're very much seen as an individual, even if you are currently in a partnership or you're heading into one. And so I think that that is what this person is noticing about you, is that you're rocking your stuff on your own, and eventually they're going to see you with this very spiritual connection you have. So it's like, I feel like I almost get like, they could be watching your socials and maybe they don't see right away that you have a other connection that you're attached to, or getting attached to. But then eventually it becomes more obvious, and then it's like this person probably takes offense to that somehow, some way. And it's like, that's totally your decision to move on with your life, so it doesn't really impact them at all. But then that's followed by the Eight of Swords. The Nine of Pentacles was followed by the Eight of Swords, so it's almost like because you're doing really well for yourself, you're looking really good, you're smelling really good. For some reason I got that. And it's like, through you taking back your power, through you working on your life, on your stability, on things you have going on, it's almost like through you just doing you gets this person stuck in their head. Like, they feel stuck in comparison to you, I feel. And so it's like raising some insecurities within them, overthinking, and they feel trapped in a certain, and it could be that they feel trapped in terms of their feelings for you. That's always a possibility, is like, you know, they see you very happy without them, and so maybe they're like, oh wow, maybe they don't need me, or, you know, they don't want me. Which, no offense, feels kind of like old news. They probably should have got that memo a long time ago, but sometimes people take a little bit longer, I feel like, to catch up to those things. And then the Three of Pentacles is like, I'm just gonna say it as I feel it, is like, I feel like they almost feel like, well, for one, I think this is definitely X energy, because the Three of Pentacles could maybe indicate that the two of you were starting to build a foundation together in the past. But what I really feel with that Three of Pentacles is this person's gonna look at you with this other person and see that as a third party. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like this person is probably somebody that's like either from your long, like further back in your past, or like some time has passed, is what I feel. And so like this person somehow still sees themselves as being in a connection with you, even if you don't even know this. Even if you don't know that they feel that way, even if you know, have no interest in this person anymore, like they still feel connected to you, and almost like, I'm sorry, but this is just kind of funny, because it's almost like this person's being so dramatic, and they're like, how could you break up our happy home and get with this other person that you clearly have a way better connection with? It's like, how could you do that? But yet, you're not even with this person. So it's almost like, it's very bizarre, very bizarre. But it's almost like they had a spiritual moment, and that's the other thing too, is like, I don't even know if this is somebody that's changing their lifestyle necessarily. It almost feels like they just had like a spiritual feeling, or a spiritual reflection period of time. And it's almost, yeah, it doesn't feel like this is somebody that's on a spiritual journey. It rather just feels like, oh, I had a spiritual moment and I was able to realize I was wrong, and so take me back, because that's what should happen now. And it's like, but like, are you actually changed though? Also, this could have been somebody from your past that got you stuck in your head because they had a third party. So, but honestly, you know, that sounds so hypocritical, but sometimes those people are real. You know, they'll like be disloyal to you in your connection, but yet project that onto you and make you feel like, or rather project that onto you and think that you're the one that has a third party or whatever. So I don't know, it feels like this is somebody that is very hypocritical, for sure. And it feels like it's still this shallowish feeling, where I feel like they had like literally like maybe one spiritual experience, and they're now like, I'm completely changed, I'm reborn. And it's like, it takes a lot more than one instance or moment of spiritual connection to really work on yourself, really examine your inner demons and work on those and stuff. And I feel like you're going to be able to kind of see through that, especially with that High Priestess here. Your intuition will be very spot on, I feel. And again, it feels almost like this is in reaction, this person coming towards you maybe to express themselves, you know, hoping that there's another second chance for the two of you. It feels like that's coming as a result of seeing you in a really healthy, very spiritually significant connection. And then the Four of Pentacles, which was also, I think, at the bottom of the deck in the last reading I did, in that section of the reading that was about an ex. Also, it's starting to fall off. I almost feel like I should include that in the reading down here. So, oh, I haven't even looked at the bottom of the deck. Let's see. Four of Cups. I think that's actually pretty funny. So now I'm going to kind of take it as this is following the Three of Pentacles that we ended on. Yeah, they made a very small step in the right direction, and it feels like, and so now they feel like, where's my reward? And it's like, that's not how this works, buddy. They also could have been really like standoffish with you, very closed off to you in the past. But with the Four of Pentacles, more than anything, it feels like they have an unhealthy connection to you that almost feels codependent, or like they almost want, like they need you, or they like need to grip onto you, make sure that you're not slipping away from them. So it just feels manipulative and slightly toxic. You know, not that this person's consciously being toxic. I'm sure it's probably taking place subconsciously, but you know, still, it's coming through in their actions and stuff. With the Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck, I feel like you have literally no interest in this person. If they come towards you and offer their cup of love to you, I feel like you're gonna be like, sorry, it's too late. Like, I've moved on. I'm no longer interested in what you have to give. Let's see what's underneath that Four of Cups. Ten of Wands. Yeah, so the Ten of Wands feels like this person that wants to kind of interrupt your good connection. It feels like they feel overburdened with the things they would like to express to you. And it's like things that have been building up over some time, and that kind of like gives me this feeling of like they had their chance to say this, but they never took it before, or they were too afraid to open up, or they were something, and now it's like now they want to tell you. But again, it feels like it's like too late at this point. Like if they had told you sooner, they might still have a chance, but it's like now that it feels like there's been a decent amount of time that has passed, and it's like, okay, like I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like you're just not interested in them like that anymore. I want to see what's underneath the Ten of Wands. King of Swords. So this could be the energy of this person, because it was the King of Swords, yeah, in the last reading too. So definitely could be air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but not necessarily. Somebody that's very logical and not super emotional. So it could even be that they were not emotionally vulnerable with you, and that was like a very necessary part of your connection. Yeah. I feel like it's like they had their chance and they fumbled it, and now they feel like they almost deserve a second chance. I don't know. Let's go on to the Two of Swords now. Clarify that, please, and thank you, Spirit. What's going on with that Two of Swords? What are people noticing about the collective with that Two of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. Please and thank you. What else is happening with that Two of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. What's happening with that Two of Swords? Anything else? Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh, ooh. Interesting. I will take that. Well, interesting. So, Two of Swords was clarified by Ten of Cups, the Moon card. Those two came out together. I feel like that's significant. I feel like they're... So, honestly, I feel like you're just, like, your ultimate happiness, your happily ever after is just around the corner for you. It may just be kind of hidden right now by the moon. And by that I mean it's like kind of taking place in the background where you can't see it, or it's developing in the background where you can't see it. Definitely could be like somebody that's kind of working up the courage to ask you out or something. I feel like you're very much like like it's this happiness that you're craving, I feel like is literally just around the corner. and the moon is kind of making it feel like, oh, it's so far away. Oh, I'll never make it there. But no, you're actually really close to it. It's just like right now, the energy is sort of masking it or hiding it from you. But eventually that will become clear, especially because we started out the reading with the sun. So I feel like whatever this is, it's going to come to light, and it's going to make you incredibly happy when it does. But yeah, so that's like a storyline there. But then we have Nine of Wands, Five of Swords, Five of Cups, Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So for one thing, I have seen repeating fours and repeating fives, so that could be significant for someone. Spirit, whose energy is this? I almost feel like this Two of Swords could be even indicating that, like, that person that you have that significant spiritual connection with, and maybe this person from the past that you don't really have feelings for anymore, that could be like this Two of Swords moment where you kind of have to choose which path you want to go down. But I don't think you're going to be very stuck in your head about it, because it feels like there's an obvious answer. For some reason, I keep switching back between your ex potentially and your energy, because it's like, if there's somebody new coming in, you may be a little bit closed off to them at first because of past experiences that have led you to putting up your boundaries, having very, you know, like having your walls up. And especially if you went through some Five of Swords energy in connection, that would make a lot of sense, because the Five of Swords is a terrible energy to be in a relationship with. Somebody that just does not care about you, doesn't care about anyone but themselves and their ability to win at all costs. But it's almost like this feels like X energy in the way of, like, now they're so sad and disappointed because of what they did, or because of maybe what they didn't do even, you know? It's they have nobody but themselves to blame when it comes to this situation, and feeling so heartbroken about it. And it feels like you kind of had no reason but to leave this person behind because they were so toxic, but now they're all brokenhearted about it. But then that was followed by the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, and so it's like, okay, but they're not willing to try to start anew. They just want to be bummed out, and so this could definitely be somebody with sort of like a victim complex, you know, feeling like every situation is just unfair. They always end up the victim in every situation that they ever get into, and so they may even feel like there's no point to entering into this Page of Pentacles upright energy of like coming towards you, being like, hey, let's build something together. Now it's like in the reverse, almost to say like, I'm not even gonna try to open this back up, because maybe they know that you won't want them, or because of what they did to you, they know that there's no coming back from that. So this could even be a separate X energy potentially. And with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, I would maybe even just ask you to consider, if there is somebody new coming in, that it may be kind of important for you to open up to the newer energy. I feel like you are definitely valid when it comes to being closed off to the person from the past, because it feels like they did not treat you well at all. Especially if it was that like I almost said Seven of Swords. That's interesting, because the Seven of Swords is usually somebody that's very sneaky. So it definitely could be the energy of this person from the past. But the Five of Swords energy, like, that is a terrible energy to be in a relationship with. Especially because I almost feel like it's mental abuse to an extent, the Five of Swords. So it's like the longer you're in that sort of connection, it's like it tears apart your sanity and your ability to think for yourself and all those types of things, like long-term consequences. But yeah, if you have been through that, that would make sense why you're closed off to maybe this new person entering your life. But at the same time, this could be something that's really aligned for you. And it may be just important for you to kind of try your best to overcome those fears of the past repeating itself. But I feel like you're getting to a point where the past will not be repeating itself, but you may just fear that. So definitely keep an open mind, keep an open heart when it comes to new people. And yeah, I feel like this could even just be somebody that's kind of watching you and just sulking and not doing anything about it. Where it's like they're just reflecting on all of the things that have taken place between the two of you, and they're just like beating themselves up over it. And yeah, it's like they're just like struggling, reflecting on the past, but yet they don't want to do anything about it. So it's like, okay, whatever. Just do that over there without being in my energy, please. And then bottom of the deck is the Justice card. So I think that's really beautiful because I feel like you are coming into justice where the scales will be balanced. There's also something being brought to light. This could be a truth or information. And I feel like the reason why that Justice card is showing up is because in the past you were probably somebody that gave a lot to your connections and did not receive anything back. But I feel like you're coming into a time in which the connection you're going to have is going to be that equal give and take. Equal give and back and forth, equal sort of love, rather than the type that you're used to, which usually just takes and doesn't give a lot back. So be prepared for like a connection that's going to be way more balanced than what you've been used to in your past. I also feel like this is happening on a karmic scale where things are going to start to go your way in general, and it's because you've built up a lot of good karma for yourself. Let's see what's underneath that Justice card. King of Wands. So the King of Wands could definitely be this new energy that is going to be part of this spiritual connection that you have. This could be somebody that's very attracted to you, somebody that's very confident in themselves and probably confident in you. Because I almost feel like in order to really impress a King of Wands, you kind of have to be the counterpart. And by that, you also kind of need to be confident in yourself, passionate like they are, driven like they are. So I feel like they could definitely see a lot of themselves in you. But also it's like you're on the same sort of wavelength, I guess. And that's probably part of why this person really is attracted to you and drawn to you. Let's see what's underneath that King of Wands. Knight of Cups. So yeah, definitely could be this King of Wands coming towards you to express themselves to you. And then that creates this justice, this balancing out. And I feel like the balancing is going to take place on many levels. Karmically, spiritually. Yeah, I feel like you're coming into a really beautiful connection that's going to be very different than your past experiences. And in terms of what people are noticing about you in this part of the reading, I would say that maybe people are seeing that you kind of had a hard time at first deciding, which path to go down in your life, but it's almost like you're becoming more confident in yourself, more self-assured, and you're not letting the past influence your decisions maybe as much as they once did. Because it's like you're aware of these past pains and stuff and how you were treated unfairly. And I feel like you've broken out of this cycle. You've broken free of this pattern. And so the next connection you get into, I feel like, is going to be very beautiful and very healing for you. And it's because you've been doing that work behind the scenes, probably within. Yeah, and that's making a big difference here. Also, the Moon card could definitely be telling you to just go with your intuition, your gut feeling. So if your ex tries to come in and say, I'm changed, I'm different now, take me back, you can listen to your intuition and be like, okay, is this person really changed? Or are they just saying that to get me back? Or, if this new person comes in and you just have that spark, that connection with them, it could very much be like, trust your intuition, trust that feeling, that maybe there's a reason you feel that way towards them. Yeah. especially because it feels mutual. So let's explore the bottom of this deck with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. I feel like that's definitely taking place for you, and that's probably what people are going to be noticing about you, is that your wishes are becoming fulfilled. But also the Nine of Cups I love in the way of like you're creating this happiness all on your own. It's all thanks to you that this is taking place. So I feel like you should thank yourself for these manifestations that are coming in potentially, or these wishes that are being fulfilled for you. Let's see what's underneath that. King of Swords. Interesting, we saw the King of Swords earlier. So, but notice how the King of Swords is behind that Nine of Cups, almost as if this person from your past, if this is somebody from your past, they're watching you come into this time of wish fulfillment, manifestation, happiness, contentment. And it feels like this is probably somebody that doesn't even like talk to you regularly, or because it just feels like they're just watching. They're not really like interacting with you in any way. So it's almost like weird that they kind of just want to come in and like suddenly and like make their presence known. Like, I'm back, so now you can give up all the things you're working towards and whatever, because I'm back and I'm I don't know, just strange energy I'm getting from the King of Swords. Let's see what's underneath that. Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this is indicating a new beginning that is going to be in line with your dreams, your manifestations, your desires here. And it's possible that this King of Swords does want to come in to offer you this new beginning, but I feel like this is a new beginning you're starting elsewhere, outside of this King of Swords. Yeah. Because it's like you see an investment paying off way better with someone else rather than this person from your past, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's break out the Oracle, see what it has to say. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have to add to this reading with the Oracle? Please and thank you. What are people noticing about the collective? Please and thank you. Any other messages for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Any other messages for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. That's a beautiful... Ooh. Okay, I'll take that one, but not the rest, because that kind of fell out very clumsily. I'll just take those two. Okay, so we have the cat in lavender. This represents independence. And I like this a lot because we saw the Nine of Pentacles earlier, and I was saying that even if you're in a very like strong connection, earth-shattering kind of connection with someone, you're still maintaining your independence. You're not losing your identity in this connection. You're not sort of morphing into one person. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. I feel like sometimes we kind of just get so absorbed by our partner and we kind of forget about ourselves. I feel like this is the kind of connection where you're going to definitely still be prioritizing yourself and acting in a place of independence. And yeah, this is going to be a different sort of connection, I feel like, because you very much want to maintain your independence and what you have built for yourself. You don't want somebody to come in and sabotage that. So that's kind of where your mind is at, I feel. And then the otter and cattail, this represents peace. I feel like, yeah, you are either experiencing now or coming into a time of great peace. And it's because, again, of all that work you've been doing on the inside. It's very important. And also maybe kind of through being on your own or through practicing your independence here, it creates a lot of peace for you. And because of that peace that you have built up within yourself, you're probably like, I don't want somebody to come in and mess with that peace that I've built up within myself, within my life. But I feel like the right kind of person is not going to sabotage that, right? The right kind of person is going to be coming in and supporting you and loving that independence about you. Yeah. And then bottom of the deck we have the horse and bluebell. This represents modest fortitude. And so I feel like, honestly, that's kind of what you've been doing. You've just kind of been keeping your head down, focused on what you want to achieve. And, it's a simple recipe, but I feel like it kind of does the trick. it's like because you're not giving up, you're still investing in yourself, you're still investing in your life, you're still investing into your projects. And I feel like that's definitely paying off for you in a major way here. So yeah, be very proud of yourself. And I feel called to just point out that justice card again. Like things are gonna start balancing out for you, and I feel like that's gonna be a really positive thing for you. Because I feel like you have been putting in a lot of effort, energy into yourself, into your life, the things that you're trying to build, and that is going to pay off for you. Just hang in there and it will show. But yeah, that's the reading. I really hope you enjoyed this. If it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're subscribed, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click the bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!